Hello there and welcome to Gearless. Now, I've had a lot of questions recently, as you can imagine. It's very appropriate and topical. A lot of questions about driving an electric car in the snow. How does it work? Does it skid? Does it go along? Well, I am now presently driving my electric car along a country lane in the Cotswolds, a very hilly region in the west of the United Kingdom, which has had a lot of snow. We've had over a foot of snow here in the last couple of days. I'm doing 25 miles an hour because it's not safe to go much faster than that, doesn't matter what you're driving. It's moving, it's perfectly alright, it doesn't seem to mind, it's doing its job, it's going along the road. If I try and make it skid, which I will do now, yeah, it starts to weave about a bit if you floor it. So it's got a lot of power, and the back starts to play around as soon as you do silly stuff like that. Like that. So but it's got some form of computerized traction control, which I'm going to try and find out a lot more about. So it doesn't do it for long. It's exactly the same as driving a petrol car, basically. If you drive stupidly, you will skid and you'll come a cropper. So you just have to drive very carefully. Same with the brakes. Brakes are exactly the same. This is now getting slightly worse where I'm driving, but it's still going okay. This is a horrible test to do, because if it goes wrong, I've got to walk home. So it's all right for you sitting in the warm watching. It's not very pleasant for me. I'm quite nervous. But anyway, so what I want to do in this series is I'm going to try and make an occasional series all the way through this year while I have this vehicle at my disposal. And what I want to do is answer all those questions. I get these questions all the time. I get them on Twitter, I get emails about them, I can read them on all those things. There's these questions. I mean, the basic ones are, you know, which I tried to answer very facetiously in the very first little video I did. How long does it take to charge? The simple, honest truth of the matter is, I don't know. And it's interesting, because the reason I don't know is because I can't be bothered to stand by the car for probably 5 hours and wait to find out. That's one part of the answer, is because you don't plug in an electric car and wait like you fill a gas car. You don't put in a nozzle and wait till it's full. You know how long that takes. It takes 2 or 3 minutes. You don't do that with an electric car. You plug it in and leave it, because who's going to stand there and wait? You know, it's pointless. So there is some truth in saying it takes about 9 or 10 seconds to charge an electric car, because that's as long as it takes to plug it in. How much of a car's life is spent sitting absolutely stationary, not doing anything? About 80–90% of its life. So if you just think all the time that your car's not doing anything, it's charging its batteries, what it simply means, which is already the experience I've had, what it simply means is it's always full. Every time I get in this car, the tank is full. So that's the point of the exercise, is one, to answer many of those questions, to look at those questions. I don't know the answers to all of them. One of the classic ones is, you know, you've got an electric car and you plug it into the national grid. The national grid, which is mostly powered by coal, burning oil and natural gas. You know, surely that's worse than driving a petrol car. It's very clear that that is genuinely not the case. The carbon output of this vehicle, the Mitsubishi iMiEV, if this vehicle is plugged into the British national grid, which is the majority of which power is produced by burning coal, which is a disgrace, it is putting out slightly under 50 grams of carbon per kilometre. Now, there is no vehicle that uses fossil fuels in any way that produces that little carbon. So this car is twice as clean as any petrol burning car on the road if it's charged by that electricity. Now just imagine how easy it would be to not charge it with that electricity, to charge it with renewable electricity, in which case it's 0 grams of carbon per kilometre. It is possible in a car like this. It is not possible in a gas-burning car. It's as simple as that. The moment that this car is produced, it is exactly the same dirty vehicle as any other vehicle that's produced. It's the same as a Range Rover. The moment it comes off the production line, it's used all that stuff to build it. But from that point on, it's hugely cleaner, and the longer you keep an electric car, the less pollutants it produces. You can say that they look ugly, or the designs are bad, or that they look weird, and this car is definitely built for an urban environment. Look where I'm driving it. I'm following a Land Rover through the Cotswolds, and all I'm surrounded by is bloody Land Rovers. So basically, this little car is doing rather well in the snow. I'm rather impressed. I thought it would get stuck, I must admit, so I'm rather chuffed. That's all for this time, but I will be doing more Gearlesses very soon.